When my kids told me they couldn't take care of me anymore, I was 75 years old and I thought my life was over. While they were bringing nursing home brochures, my neighbor handed me something, a phone. And that phone completely changed my life. Now 2 million people watch me every day, and my kids, well, they're calling me back now, begging to reconnect. But let me tell you how I went from being the burden nobody wanted to the grandmother everyone wants to know. Picture this. A Tuesday afternoon in my small Chicago apartment. I'm sitting at my kitchen table, watching my son Robert shuffle through glossy brochures with names like Golden Years Haven and Peaceful Meadows Senior Living. My daughter Jennifer is nodding along, her doctor face firmly in place. You know that expression medical professionals use when they're about to deliver bad news, but want to seem compassionate about it. "Mom," Robert says, not quite meeting my eyes. "We've been talking, and we think it's time to consider other living arrangements." Other living arrangements. That's what they're calling it. Not "we want to put you in a home," not "we don't want to deal with you anymore." Other living arrangements. "I'm perfectly fine here," I tell them, gesturing around my little apartment. "It's small, sure, but it's mine. I've lived here for 15 years, ever since your father passed. I know every creaky floorboard, every water stain on the ceiling, every neighbor's schedule." Jennifer leans forward, her perfectly manicured hands clasped together. "Mom, you fell last month. You didn't answer your phone for 6 hours and we were terrified. What if something serious had happened?" I dropped my phone in the bathtub. I explain for what feels like the 100th time. "I wasn't dying. I was just clumsy." That's exactly our point. Robert jumps in. His lawyer voice is fully activated now. "At your age, being clumsy can be dangerous. What if you'd fallen in the bathtub instead of just dropping your phone? You could have broken a hip. I could have died." I finish his sentence. "Yes, Robert, I'm aware that I'm old and that old people die. Thank you for that reminder." The tension in the room gets thick enough to cut. Jennifer shoots Robert a look that clearly says, "You're not helping," and he shifts uncomfortably in his chair. "Mom, we're not trying to upset you," Jennifer says in her soothing doctor voice. "We're just worried about you being alone. The nursing home we're looking at is really nice. They have activities, other people your age, 24-hour medical care, other people my age waiting to die." I interrupt. "No thank you." Robert sighs heavily. "Mom, please don't be dramatic. This isn't about dying. It's about quality of life. At Peaceful Meadows, you'd have companions, structure, assistance with daily tasks. I don't need assistance with daily tasks." My voice comes out sharper than I intended. "I cook my own meals. I clean my own apartment. I take the bus to the grocery store. I'm 75, not 105. But for how long?" Jennifer asks quietly. And there it is. The real question hanging in the air between us. For how long can I keep pretending I'm not becoming a burden? For how long until I really do fall and break something and can't get up? For how long until I become the problem they're clearly already viewing me as? "Look," Robert says, pulling out his phone. "Jennifer and I have been discussing this, and with our careers and families, it's just not feasible for either of us to take you in. Peaceful Meadows is only 40 minutes from my house in Boston, 2 hours from me in Philadelphia," Jennifer adds, as if that's supposed to be comforting. "So that's what this is really about. They want me close enough to feel good about themselves, but far enough away that I'm not actually their problem. They want to check the good children box without actually having to deal with their aging mother on a daily basis." "I'm not going," I say firmly. "This is my home. I'm staying here." They exchange another look. The kind of look parents give each other when their toddler is throwing a tantrum, and they need to decide whether to give in or stand firm. "Mom," Robert starts, but I cut him off. "No. I appreciate your concern. Really I do. But I'm not ready to be put out to pasture. I'm still sharp. I still have all my faculties. And I'm staying in my own home." Discussion over. After they leave, Robert irritated, Jennifer teary. I sit in my quiet apartment and wonder if maybe they're right. Maybe I am being stubborn. Maybe I am becoming a burden. The thought sits in my chest like a stone. That's when I hear the knock on my door. Mrs. Chen from 4B stands in my hallway, holding a covered dish that smells amazing. She's maybe mid-60s, always impeccably dressed, and we've been friendly neighbors for about 5 years. "Eleanor," she says with her slight accent. I heard voices. "Everything okay?" I must look terrible because she doesn't wait for an answer. She just walks right in, sets down the dish, and starts making tea in my kitchen like she owns the place. "My kids think I should go into a nursing home." I hear myself saying, I don't know why I'm telling her this. Maybe because she's not family. Maybe because I need someone to tell me I'm not crazy for wanting to stay in my own home. Mrs. Chen makes a dismissive sound. "American children," she says, shaking her head. "Always so quick to put parents away. They're just worried about me being alone. I defend them even though part of me is furious with them." "You know what you need," Mrs. Chen says, pulling something out of her purse. "You need this." She holds out a sleek smartphone. An iPhone, I think. "The latest model, all shiny and new." "I can't accept that," I say immediately. "That's too expensive." "It's my old one," she lies, and we both know she's lying because this phone is clearly brand new. "My son sent me the newest model, so I don't need this anymore." "You take it, Mrs. Chen." "Eleanor," she interrupts firmly. "You take the phone. You learn to use it. You stay connected to the world. You show your children you're not some helpless old woman waiting to die." The way she says it, so matter-of-fact and fierce, makes something shift inside me. She's right. I am not helpless. I am not waiting to die. I don't know how to use a smartphone, I admit. Mrs. Chen smiles. "That's okay. I teach you. Tomorrow we start lessons." "Deal." I look at the phone in her hand, this little device that feels like a lifeline being thrown to me. "Deal." Over the next 2 weeks, Mrs. Chen becomes my technology teacher. She's patient but firm, showing me how to text, how to use apps, how to take photos. She's on my couch almost every afternoon, guiding my clumsy fingers across the screen. "No," she says, when I try to close an app by pressing the screen too hard, like petting a cat. "Gentle." I learn about social media, Facebook, Instagram, something called TikTok, that Mrs. Chen seems obsessed with. "This one is fun," she says, showing me videos of people dancing, cooking, telling stories. "Everyone can be famous on TikTok." "I don't want to be famous," I laugh. "I just want to know how to use the phone so my kids stop treating me like I'm incompetent." But Mrs. Chen has other ideas. "You should make a count," she says. "You have interesting life. You have stories." "Who wants to hear stories from a 75-year-old woman?" I ask. "Everyone," Mrs. Chen insists. "Young people especially. They love grandma content. My granddaughter shows me all the time. I think she's crazy, but to humor her, I let her help me set up a TikTok account. We spend an hour trying to come up with a username. Mrs. Chen suggests Grandma Ellie, but it's taken. We try Chicago Grandma, but that feels generic. Finally, I just use my name, Eleanor Mitchell. "Now," Mrs. Chen says, her eyes gleaming with excitement. "We make your first video." "Absolutely not," I say. "I'm not making videos. That's ridiculous." "Why ridiculous?" "You think you have nothing interesting to say. I'm 75 years old. I spent 40 years as an elementary school teacher. My most exciting story is probably the time a second grader brought a snake to class." "See," Mrs. Chen claps her hands. "That's interesting. Tell that story." And somehow, before I fully understand what's happening, I'm sitting in my living room with Mrs. Chen holding the phone, and I'm telling the story of little Tommy Patterson and his garter snake that escaped during reading time. Mrs. Chen posts it immediately, before I can tell her not to. "There," she says proudly. "You are now TikTok creator." I look at the video on the screen, my 75-year-old face, wrinkles and age spots on full display, talking about a snake. "Nobody's going to watch this," I say. "Maybe not." Mrs. Chen shrugs. "Maybe yes. We see." That night, I check the phone before bed. The video has 47 views. 47 strangers watched me tell a story about a snake. It's absurd. It's silly. It's also kind of thrilling. By morning, the video has 200 views. By lunch, 500. Mrs. Chen comes over, sees the numbers and nods knowingly. "I told you. People like grandma stories." "It's probably just because it's short," I say, but I can't hide my smile. 500 people watched my video. 500 people who don't know me and probably don't care about me chose to spend 45 seconds of their day listening to me talk. Make another, Mrs. Chen encourages, tell more stories from teaching. So I do. I tell the story about the Christmas pageant, where baby Jesus threw up on Mary. I tell about the spelling bee catastrophe of 1987. I tell about the time I accidentally started a small fire during a science demonstration about volcanoes. Each video gets a few hundred views. Nothing spectacular, but enough to make me keep going. Enough to make me feel like maybe, just maybe, I'm not as invisible as I thought I was. Then 3 weeks after my first video, something changes. Mrs. Chen suggests I tell a different kind of story. Not just teaching stories, she says. Tell about your life. About being 75. About what your children said about the nursing home. I can't talk about that, I protest. That's private. That's family business. Eleanor, Mrs. Chen says gently, you think you're the only person whose children want to put them in a home? You think you're the only one who feels invisible? You tell this story. Maybe you help someone else feel less alone. I think about it for a long time. About Robert and Jennifer and those glossy brochures. About the way they looked at me like I was a problem to be solved, rather than a person to be loved. About how invisible I've felt since your father died. Like I'm just taking up space until it's my turn to leave. And so I make the video. I sit on my couch, look directly at the camera Mrs. Chen is holding, and I say my kids want to put me in a nursing home. They say I'm too old to live alone. They say I'm becoming a burden. Well, let me tell you what this 75-year-old burden thinks about that. I talk for 3 minutes. I talk about ageism, about children who forget their parents are still people with hopes and dreams and desires. I talk about being dismissed and underestimated. I talk about refusing to become invisible just because I've lived 75 years. Mrs. Chen posts it immediately. This one, she says, with certainty. This one is special. She's right. By evening, the video has 5,000 views. By bedtime, 20,000. I wake up the next morning to 100,000 views, and my phone buzzing non-stop with notifications. What's happening? I ask Mrs. Chen when she comes over, drawn by my panicked text message. She looks at my phone and starts laughing with joy. Eleanor, you went viral. I went what? White? What? It means everyone is watching your video. Look, 150,000 views now. And comments, so many comments. We scroll through them together. Message after message from people all over the world. My mom is going through the same thing. Thank you for speaking up. I'm 68 and my kids treat me the same way. It's nice to know I'm not alone. This made me realize how I've been treating my own mother. I'm going to call her right now. You are goals. Stay strong, Queen. I stare at the screen, overwhelmed. Queen? Someone called me a queen. Mrs. Chen is beaming. Eleanor, you are TikTok famous now. What are you going to do? I think about my children and those nursing home brochures. I think about feeling invisible and dismissed. I think about all the other people out there who feel the same way. I'm going to make more videos, I say. And that's exactly what I do. Over the next 2 months, I become what Mrs. Chen calls a content creator. I film videos in my kitchen, on my couch, occasionally at the park down the street. I talk about aging, about life lessons learned over 75 years, about refusing to fade away quietly. I tell stories about my teaching career, my marriage, raising kids in the 80s and 90s. I share recipes from family gatherings. I give advice to young people struggling with their own parents. I talk about grief and loss, and finding joy after heartbreak. And people watch. Thousands of people. Then hundreds of thousands. Mrs. Chen becomes my unofficial manager, helping me film and edit and post. You need consistent schedule, she tells me. 3 videos per week minimum. And you need to engage with followers. Answer comments. I don't know how to answer all these comments. I protest, looking at my phone showing 2,000 new comments since this morning. There are too many. So we make video answering common questions. Mrs. Chen suggests, we do kinda. That's what successful creators do. Successful creator. That's what I've become. Apparently. At 75 years old, I've accidentally become an influencer. My follower count keeps climbing. 500,000, 750,000, 1 million. The numbers are absurd. I can't wrap my head around the fact that 1 million people have decided they want to see my content regularly. What do all these people see in me? I ask Mrs. Chen one afternoon as we're planning content for the week. She looks at me like I'm being dense. They see someone who refuses to give up. They see someone who proves life doesn't end at 60 or 70. They see hope. Eleanor, you give people hope. The money starts coming in too, which shocks me. Apparently, when you have enough followers, companies want to pay you to mention their products. Mrs. Chen negotiates these deals for me. Skincare companies, vitamin brands, even a big technology company that wants me to talk about staying connected in the digital age. This is crazy, I tell her when she shows me the offer from the tech company. They want to pay me $5,000 to make 3 videos. You have platform now. Mrs. Chen says simply, platform has value. Your voice has value. My voice has value. When's the last time anyone said that to me? I'm approaching 2 million followers when I get the call from Robert. Mom, he says. And his voice sounds strange. I need to ask you something. What's wrong? My mother instincts kick in despite everything. Is everyone okay? Everyone's fine. Mom, do you have a TikTok account? My heart stops. Yes. Why? Because my colleague just showed me a video of someone who looks exactly like you talking about. He pauses, talking about how her kids want to put her in a nursing home. The silence on the line is deafening. That's not you, is it? He asks. But he already knows the answer. That's not you, is it? Robert asks. But he already knows the answer. I take a deep breath. Yes, Robert. That's me. Another long silence. I can practically hear him processing this information, his lawyer brain trying to make sense of what I've just confirmed. You have how many followers? His voice cracks slightly on the word followers. About 1.9 million, I say, and I can't keep a small note of pride out of my voice. 1.9 million. He repeats it like he's trying to convince himself it's real. Mom, do you understand what that means? Do you have any idea how many people that is? I have some idea. Yes. And you're making videos about our private family conversations. About Jennifer and me wanting you to consider assisted living. There it is. Not nursing home anymore. Now it's assisted living. Funny how the language changes when they realize other people are watching. I'm making videos about my life, Robert. About being 75 years old and being treated like I'm invisible. About children who forget their parents are still human beings with feelings and dreams. Mom, you made us look like monsters. Did I? My voice stays calm. Or did I simply tell the truth about how it felt to have my children show up with brochures for places to put me away because dealing with me was inconvenient? That's not fair. Robert protests. We were worried about you. We were trying to help. Were you? Or were you trying to make yourselves feel better about not having to actually deal with me? He makes a frustrated sound. I can't believe you aired our family business to millions of strangers. And I can't believe my own son looked at me and saw nothing but a problem to be solved. So I guess we're even. Mom. Robert, I need to go. I have a video to film. I hang up before he can respond. My hands are shaking, but not from fear, from anger, from 75 years of being told to be quiet, to be small, to not make waves. Well, I'm done being small. Mrs. Chen comes over that afternoon and finds me pacing my apartment. What's wrong? You look upset. Robert called. He knows about TikTok. Mrs. Chen nods knowingly. And how did that go? He's angry. He says I made them look like monsters. He says I shouldn't air family business to strangers. What do you think? Mrs. Chen asks. I stop pacing. I think I spent 2 months feeling ashamed of myself for wanting to stay in my own home. I think I let them make me feel like I was being unreasonable for not wanting to be shuffled off to die quietly. And I think I'm done apologizing for refusing to be invisible. Mrs. Chen smiles. Good. Then we make video about this phone call. Mrs. Chen, I don't know if that's Eleanor. She looks at me seriously. Your followers love you because you're honest. They love you because you tell truth. If you stop now, if you hide this, you lose that authenticity. You lose what makes you special. She's right. I know she's right. So that evening, I make another video. I sit on my couch, look at the camera, and I say, my son called me today. He found my TikTok account. He's upset that I told you all about the nursing home conversation. He thinks I made him look bad. Well, here's what I told him. I talk for 4 minutes about truth and perception, about how uncomfortable honesty can be, about how being a good parent sometimes means loving your children enough to tell them when they're wrong. The video goes viral even faster than the first one. By morning it has 500,000 views. By afternoon it's hit 1 million, and the comments are overwhelming. Tell your son to watch this and learn something. You didn't make him look bad. His actions made him look bad. This is what accountability looks like. I showed this to my kids and it started a really important conversation. Thank you. But there's also a comment from a username I recognize, Jennifer's email address. She's never been on TikTok before. She thinks social media is mindless, but apparently she created an account just to message me. Mom, please call me. We need to talk. I don't call. Instead I keep making videos. I'm up to 3 per week now, just like Mrs. Chen suggested. I talk about aging, about life lessons, about the recipes my mother taught me. I talk about grief and joy and everything in between. 2 weeks after Robert's call, there's a knock on my door. I open it to find both of my children standing in my hallway. They've flown in from Boston and Philadelphia without telling me they were coming. We need to talk, Jennifer says. I let them in because they're still my children, even though I'm not sure I'm ready for this conversation. They sit on my couch, the same couch where I film my videos, and for a long moment, nobody speaks. Finally, Robert breaks the silence. Mom, we owe you an apology. I don't say anything. I just wait. We've been watching your videos, Jennifer continues. All of them. And we realized, she pauses, tears in her eyes. We realized, we've been treating you terribly. We thought we were being helpful, Robert adds. We thought we were being responsible by planning for your future. But we never asked what you wanted. We never considered that you might still have plans of your own. You made us feel like we were monsters, Jennifer says quietly. And at first we were angry about that. But then we realized you weren't wrong. I look at my children, these 2 people I raised, who I loved more than anything in the world, and I see something I haven't seen in a long time. I see them really looking at me, not at an aging mother who needs to be managed, but at me, Eleanor, a person. Do you know what hurt the most? I ask them. It wasn't that you brought the brochures. It wasn't even that you thought a nursing home was the best option. It was that you never once asked me what I wanted. You never asked if I was happy. You never asked if I had dreams or plans or hopes for my future. You just assumed that at 75 I was done, that my life was essentially over and I was just waiting around to die. Mom, we're so sorry. Jennifer is crying now. I was so focused on your physical safety that I forgot to think about your emotional well-being. I'm a doctor. I should have known better. And I was so worried about liability and practical concerns that I forgot you're not just my mother, you're a person with your own life, Robert adds. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm really, truly sorry. I let them apologize. I let them express their guilt and their regret. And then I say something I've been thinking about for weeks. I forgive you, but I need you to understand something. I'm not done living. I'm not done growing. I'm not done learning new things, or trying new experiences, or making an impact in the world. TikTok proved that to me. At 75, I found something I'm good at. Something that matters to people. I built a community of nearly 2 million people who value what I have to say. It's incredible, Mom, Robert says. Really, it is. I had no idea you could do something like this. That's because you never asked. I point out gently. You assumed I was technologically illiterate because I'm old. You assumed I had nothing valuable to offer because I'm past traditional working age. You saw a number, 75, and you let that number define everything you thought about me. They both nod, looking ashamed. But here's the thing. I continue. I did this. Me. At 75 years old, I learned how to use a smartphone. I learned about social media algorithms and engagement rates and content strategy. I built a platform that reaches millions of people. I'm making more money now than I ever did as a teacher. And I did it all while you were trying to convince me I was too old to live independently. Mom, can I ask you something? Jennifer says. Why didn't you tell us? About the TikTok success, about the money, about any of it. I think about this carefully. Because I knew you wouldn't take it seriously. You would have patted me on the head and told me it was nice that I had a hobby, just like you did with my teaching stories, just like you did with everything I tried to share with you about my life. You stopped seeing me as a full person years ago, and I got tired of trying to prove my worth to you. The truth of this hangs in the air between us. We want to do better, Robert says. We want to support you, really support you. What can we do? I look at these two grown adults, my babies though they're middle-aged now, and I feel something shift. Not forgiveness exactly, not yet, but maybe the beginning of it. You can start by understanding that my life isn't over. You can stop treating every decision I make as if it's evidence of declining mental capacity. You can ask me about my dreams instead of just assuming I don't have any. And you can trust that if I need help, I'll ask for it. Can we watch you film a video? Jennifer asks suddenly. I want to understand what you're doing. So I show them. Mrs. Chen comes over. She usually does around this time, and we film a video about forgiveness and second chances and how it's never too late to repair damaged relationships. Robert and Jennifer watch in amazement as Mrs. Chen and I work together, discussing angles and lighting and whether my story about teaching my kids to ride bikes fits the theme we're going for. This is professional, Robert says, sounding shocked. This is really professional. Did you think I was just rambling into a phone? I ask with a slight smile. Honestly, kind of. After they leave, promising to call more often, to visit more regularly, to do better, I sit with Mrs. Chen in my apartment, and we look at the view from my window. It's not much, just other buildings, and a slice of street, but it's mine. You did good today, Mrs. Chen says. Did I? I feel like I was pretty hard on them. Sometimes love means being hard, she says wisely. Sometimes it means telling truth, even when truth is uncomfortable. That night, I make a video about the day. I don't mention Robert and Jennifer by name, but I talk about adult children who came to apologize, about the hard work of forgiveness, about how relationships can heal if both sides are willing to try. The comments pour in. This made me cry. I need to call my mom. Thank you for showing us it's possible to have hard conversations and come out stronger. Your grace and strength inspire me every day. You're teaching us all how to age with dignity and power. My follower count hits 2 million that week. Mrs. Chen buys a small cake to celebrate, and we eat it in my apartment, while watching my follower count tick higher and higher. You know what this means? Mrs. Chen asks. What? You're officially famous. You're internet celebrity. I laugh. I'm a 75-year-old internet celebrity. Who would have thought? I thought, Mrs. Chen says smugly. I knew from beginning you had something special. 3 months later, I'm still in my apartment in Chicago. I'm still making videos 3 times a week. I still have tea with Mrs. Chen every afternoon. But everything has changed. Robert calls me twice a week now, not to check if I've fallen or forgotten to take my medication, but to actually talk. To ask about my videos, to tell me about his work, to treat me like a person he's interested in rather than a responsibility he's managing. Jennifer visits once a month, flying in from Philadelphia for the weekend. She's started appearing in some of my videos, talking about the medical realities of aging and how to maintain health and independence. My followers love her. But the best part? The absolute best part is knowing that somewhere out there are other 75-year-olds, other 80-year-olds, other people who society has written off as too old who are watching my videos and thinking, maybe I'm not done yet. Maybe I have something left to give. I get messages every day from people who say I inspired them to try something new, to stand up to dismissive family members, to refuse to become invisible. And that phone Mrs. Chen gave me? That iPhone I was so scared to use? It became my connection to the world, my platform, my proof that it's never too late to reinvent yourself. So here's what I want you to remember. Your age is just a number. It doesn't define what you're capable of. It doesn't determine your worth. It doesn't mean your best days are behind you. When my kids told me they couldn't take care of me anymore, when they brought those nursing home brochures, I thought my life was over. I thought I was just taking up space, waiting for the end. But that phone changed everything. Not because it was magic, but because it gave me a way to connect, to share, to matter. Now 2 million people watch me every day. And my kids, they're not just calling me back. They're actually listening. Because I proved that at 75, you can still surprise people. You can still grow. You can still matter. You're never too old to start over. You're never too old to learn something new. You're never too old to make an impact. And if you ever doubt that, just remember, I'm 75 years old, and I accidentally became a TikTok star while my kids were trying to put me in a nursing home. Life's funny like that. So what do you think? Have you ever been underestimated because of your age? Have you ever proven someone wrong about what you're capable of? Let me know in the comments. And if this story resonated with you, I'd love for you to join our community at Mama's Truth Tales. We're building something special here. A place where age is celebrated, not hidden, where wisdom is valued, not dismissed. Because your story matters, your voice matters, and you matter, no matter how old you are.